Hello, everyone. It's the interview queen, Alicia Atout here, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to my interview with Breon Ansley. Hello.
Hi, Alicia. Man, I'm honored to be interviewed by the interview queen.
Thank you so much for coming on. I'm stoked about this. How are you doing? How are you holding up with everything going on? We were kind of talking about it a little bit before recording, but let everyone know.
Doing pretty good. Like everybody else is. I'm taking it one day at a time, one moment at a time. As we were talking about beforehand, I haven't been affected too much by, too drastically by this pandemic. Thank God, and I'm lucky. But because I'm still able to train at a gym day by day, private gym, of course, do the online stuff, and rock in that manner. The only thing that we were talking about that has changed for me is kind of the traveling, maybe around the world, and I miss that for sure, because who doesn't like doing that, or who doesn't want to do that?
I know. I feel like I'm never going to complain about like a long boarding process or anything again because we've waited months and months to actually get to that point. So now it's like, flying's totally fine. Long drives are totally cool. It's not going to bug us going forward.
Really, really, like such a new perspective, right? And a
Yeah.
new appreciation for things, man. When we could get out of this thing eventually, a new appreciation even now.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Now, one thing I wanted to ask you before we get into a little bit of your career and some of the really cool things that I've discovered, I have to ask, when did the obsession with pancakes begin for you?
It's so funny. The obsession with pancakes began for me when I became a bodybuilder.
Oh,
Yeah, which was in like 2012 through 2013. What happens with a lot of us is, and definitely what happened with me is, what happens with us is we become foodies. Bodybuilders become foodies. And now, I mean, when I say bodybuilders, I mean all categories: bikini, figure. I've talked to all of them. All the categories. Anybody that competes and has to restrict themselves from so much goodies that they might be used to or that they might want. you know we really, when we get the chance to eat, and we really get the chance to kind of have a looser diet, we enjoy it, and we really appreciate those foods because we go so long without having them. So that's when my obsession with pancakes came about in 2012 and 2013. And what an obsession. I mean, I'd like to say that nobody knows pancakes like me. I've tried maybe all the flavors. I can eat a lot of them. I can eat them 5, 6 times a day, every single day. I like to think that I'm, top 5 or definitely top 10 in the world on Pancake Kings.
pancake connoisseur right here. And it's interesting because you're one of those bodybuilders who actually can train like crazy, but also have frequent cheat meals and snacks. I mean, you posted this spread the other day in your story that had like donuts, cinnamon toast crunch, Reese's puffs. So it's like, it's crazy to me that some people can have those physiques, but at the same time, like, it sounds weird saying eat like normal people, but like who aren't in bodybuilding. So has that always been the case for you? Like you took to the conditioning and nutrition easily, but you've always been able to kind of have those cheat meals on the side too.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, then, see, that's okay. Okay, so like people on the outside looking in kind of get it twisted a little bit. When we have these cheat meals, we have paid our dues and we have worked for them, as far as like where the metabolism, working with our metabolism and where it needs to be in order to have those things every now and then. You can't just say, oh, okay, I'm gonna have a cheat meal and don't train, and haven't put in some time and consistency with training to where you have trained your metabolism to even burn those foods off. you know so
Right.
so we have, and then I'm 38 years old now, Alicia. I've been training since I was 13, so my metabolism has had lots of years of
To
conditioning.
get used to this. But you're right. I do think some people get it twisted where they'll see someone built that way and they think, how can they eat that? Won't it completely throw them off? But they don't realize that you train so hard and you're always in the gym and you're always fit that it almost doesn't affect you to the degree that they think it might.
Absolutely. And that's 1000% the case right there. It's just that, certain people people like us that live in the gym, we've trained our metabolism for years, and our metabolism is in a ongoing revved up state to where we don't hold loose calories and empty calories like some of these. I'm pointing back here because they're still here. I have a surprise for the gram about all of them in a second. But we have just trained our bodies to be able to take that type of food and not do too much damage to our bodies, but to be able to get rid of it and burn it off. And actually, we use the term refeed, and which means that we kind of maybe a body part that we want to train and put more volume to and put more mass. We eat like that so those type of calories can go to the muscle, like the glycogen can go to the muscle.
That makes perfect sense. It's not something I've thought of. When you explain it that way, it actually makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So you already know the ladies like to train their legs and their glutes.
Right.
And then, every so often, maybe every week or every couple or once every 2 weeks, they'll have a meal like that. So all of that glycogen and all of that glucose can go straight to their legs and to their glutes and make them bigger. Help make them bigger. They're not going to get bigger like that overnight, but
right.
Help with more consistency.
No, it does make perfect sense. And of course, when it comes to your career in the sport, you are a 2-time Mr. Olympia Classic Champ and Arnold Classic Champ, which are literally some of the biggest accomplishments you can have in this business. So when you look back and you see those dreams come to fruition and things you've wanted since you were a teenager training, does it still feel kind of surreal knowing all that you've done and all that's still ahead of you?
Absolutely. It does feel when I look at it and when I really kind of ponder over it and analyze it, it does feel surreal, because I had no idea that I wanted to kind of I always was fascinated by it as a teenager, 13, 14, 15 years old. But I had no idea that I would make it to the top and be the champion of the world one day. I wanted to be in the NFL, and I wanted to be a football player. Those were my hopes and dreams. But I always had the competitive nature left in me when I stopped playing football, and I've always lifted weights. And so I thought that was a easy transition. I just put it in my head and did the kind of the logic of, hey, I lift weights, you lift weights, you grow bigger muscles, you can become a bodybuilder. And so let's see how this goes. I was at a gym to where a lot of people were asking me if I did it. I kept saying no. I haven't bodybuilded before. So then finally, after so many questions about it, I decided to do it in 2012. And I guess I said, okay, right after my first show, I was able to win. And then I said, okay, well, what's the highest level that you can get in this sport? I told my coach that. And he said, Mr. Olympia. And so I said, okay, well, I'm going to give myself a 5-year plan to win the Mr. Olympia. And it happened in 5 years, 2017.
Amazing.
First win. Yeah.
I know that I had mentioned how you've accomplished so much, but of course there is stuff on the horizon. And one of those things is the fact that you'll be competing to, fingers crossed, become a 3-time Mr. Olympia champion later this year in December. I know you've mentioned how you got the eye of the tiger. You aren't letting any negativity get to you. So how's the preparation for that been? And do you find that you're still getting some weird negative comments thrown your way? Like people are always just not going to fully be on board.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I embrace it. And I'm ready to get a title again, get the third one. The negative comments, for sure. At first, those comments are tough, you know, because you want everybody to love you, and that's kind of, I guess that's human nature. You want everybody to receive what you're doing well, and just love you, right, and not have anything negative to say. But now I've been hardened a little bit, I've gotten used to the haters, and I've gotten used to even listen, I understand that there's fans out there that like the next competitor, that love the next competitor. And that's what makes the competition. And that's what makes sports, you know? So I had to get a grasp of that, and I got it. And now I embrace it. I embrace people saying negative things, and it fuels me. And hopefully we definitely will get the third title coming up here in December. Are you going to be there?
I don't know. It completely depends on how this pandemic turns out. Right now, I can't even cross the border to the States, but I have so many friends that are either going to be coaching or competing. So I would love to go there behind the scenes and just interview and hang out. So fingers crossed the world continues getting better and I can be there, because, oh man, to be at an Olympia would be incredible.
Oh, yeah. You haven't been at one at all?
No, this would be my
Oh,
first one. So it's a spectacle. I really hope it works out.
but you know what? The thing about it is that, oh, see, I don't know how this one is going to be. Like with the spectacle, we might have to have it to where it's just limited fans, no,
Right,
not,
just a panel.
yeah. So if I were to say, this would not be the first experience I would want, you
Hold
know,
off.
at an Olympia. Yeah. So then I would say hold off until 2021 for the
Right.
whole spectacle. Um, because it is very special, and it's so electric for sure.
Well, I definitely want to wish you the best of luck. And it's interesting hearing you talk about dealing with people online, because when I first started, it used to hit me so hard and I used to almost get like angry and hurt by it. And then you're right, you do kind of get a harder shell as time goes on. You're like, oh, screw it. Like once you kind of get a title or an accolade, you're like, I know that I'm good at what I'm doing. I have it not only within me, but the gratification from others. So it's like, what does someone random, what does their opinion really matter to me?
That's exactly it. You have to just be confident in what you're doing. You have to be confident that you're doing something positive, and that you are inspiring, and that you're out to portray a positive message to the fans, and in turn, have them better themselves, and better themselves with bettering the being inspired with the people that they're around, and keep it moving. Keep it moving. You can't be all pressed down by these people who are just will get a rise out of getting under your skin. You can't let that bother you, and especially when you're on a certain level, you can't let it, because you have way bigger fish to fry.
Right.
You know what I
No,
mean?
definitely. Oh, I couldn't agree more. Well, the last thing that I wanted to ask you about, because I discovered this, is the fact that you actually did quite a bit of commercial acting before getting into bodybuilding. You worked with some really big brands, everything from like McDonald's to Samsung. So I know acting was something that's always been an interest of yours. And when I think of commercials, some of them are so great and smart, and some of them can be so cheesy and ridiculous. So were you ever kind of pitched a super cheesy, or were you ever in like a weird or super funny one before?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the Mountain Dew one. Did you
I
see the
don't think that. No.
super funny, super, maybe someone might consider it a little cheesy, but super funny, I think. It was a long one, and it was a super big campaign for Mountain Dew. And I went to
Okay.
China to actually shoot that. That was way back in 2008. I went to China to shoot that, and it was like that was my biggest commercial. That was all over the place. But no, I never. A lot of them were cheesy, and a lot of them were kind of, the punchlines were like, oh yeah, haha. But
Right.
I just had fun. I just had fun. I was so um, honored to be, working, because I know, I've seen a lot of actors come, because I started off doing extra work. Okay, so
Right.
with the extra work, we have maybe even hundreds. Sometimes I did some extra work to where hundreds of people were like as extras,
That's
and
crazy.
I would meet a lot of people that moved from different states, to come here and be an actor and live the dream. And I would keep in touch with them, and then maybe a couple of years down the line, it wouldn't work out, and they would move back home. I'm talking maybe 15 to 20 people that I knew over the years that happened to. So I was home was here for me anyway in LA, you know what I mean? So, but I was just happy, and I was just honored to be moving up and to be able to have some success at it. So anything that was thrown my way, not anything, but most of the things that were thrown my way that I was able to work on were lots and lots of fun, and I had lots of fun with it. I didn't have a problem, and I'm a silly character anyway, so I don't have a problem playing silly, doing silly things, doing things outside of the box. I enjoy it.
Well, it's awesome you were able to have success in two of your passions. I'm definitely gonna look up that commercial afterwards because I didn't come across it, so I'm gonna check that out. But I want to say thank you so much, Breon, for taking the time and for coming on here. It's been awesome having you.
Yes, no problem. I appreciate the interview queen, Alicia, you, and choosing me to be interviewed. And maybe we'll do more down the line, but I truly appreciate it. And I feel like I'm in great company. So I'm honored to be in that company and honored to be chosen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Breon. Everybody, be sure to check out Breon Ansley and also make sure to watch him compete this year in December at Mr. Olympia. We're all cheering you on. And check out AliciaAtout.com for all exclusive interviews and features. We'll see you next time, folks. Bye.
Bye.